Welcome to World Action and Reaction News. Let's start today's news snapshot. Before starting this news session, my request to you all, please press subscribe button and press bell icon for regular updates on new video upload, if you are new to this channel, and also press like button if you find this video useful to you. Let's start. Defense company B Systems will announce more than 1,000 job cuts this week, mainly affecting its Warden plant in Lancashire, Northern England, where it assembles the Eurofighter Typhoon fighter jet, Sky News said on Monday. B Systems, which employs 34,600 people in Britain, has already slowed production of the jet while it awaits an expected major order from Saudi Arabia. The company told Sky News, B Systems continually reviews its operations to make sure we are performing as effectively and efficiently as possible, delivering our commitments to existing customers and ensuring we are best placed to secure future business. If and when there are any changes proposed, we are committed to communicating with our employees and their representatives first. India today called on the UN member nations to overcome narrow national interests and misguided notions of parity to break the deadlock at the Conference on Disarmament. India also observed that the recent missile tests conducted by North Korea has added to the complexities of disarmament and non-proliferation. North Korea, in recent weeks, has launched 2 missiles over Japan and conducted its 6th nuclear test. Amandeep Singh Gill, the permanent representative of India to the Conference on Disarmament, CD, said India has completed its obligations on stockpile destruction under the Convention on Prohibitions on the Use of Certain Conventional Weapons which may be deemed to be excessively injurious or to have indiscriminate effects. Narrow views of national security interest and misguided notions of parity continued to obstruct the adoption of a program of work at the Conference on Disarmament despite promising discussions in the Way Ahead Working Group, he said during a debate of the First Committee of the UN General Assembly. Indian carriers may soon ask passengers to observe 30 seconds of silence if the aircraft is carrying the mortal remains of military personnel who have died in combat. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, has forwarded a proposal from the armed forces to all airlines for comments, and government officials indicated that it may soon be accepted. This proposal had come from the armed forces and we have forwarded it to airlines seeking their views, said a senior official at the aviation regulator. Airlines have to be taken on board before any decision is taken. DGCA also forwarded a possible template for the announcement that could be made on such flights. Oddly enough, the template includes terms like proud and privileged while referring to martyred soldiers. However, a DGCA official said the script had not been prepared by the regulator. It is our proud privilege/moment to announce that today on our flight we have amongst us the mortal remains of an extremely brave and gallant soldier of the Indian Army/Navy/Air Force. We request you to observe 30 seconds of silence for the departed soul, reads the template forwarded by the regulator. The script is in the draft stage, and not final yet. It will be finalized based on suggestions from airlines, the DGCA official added. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will commission indigenously built Inskilton, an anti-submarine corvette, on October 16 in Visakhapatnam. Inskilton represents a leap forward in the Indian Navy's attempts at indigenization with as much as 90% of its content drawn from India itself. The keel of Inskilton was laid in August 2010 and it was launched in Kolkata on March 26, 2013 by Chitra Joshi, wife of Admiral D.K. Joshi, then Chief of Naval Staff. Inskilton is third of the 4 Project 28 warships. Project 28 was approved in 2003, and construction of the lead ship, Inskamarta, was started in August 2005. 2 of the 4 corvettes, Inskamarta and Inskadmat, were commissioned in 2014 and 2016 respectively. The remaining one, Inskavarati, is under construction and is slated to be completed by the end of 2017. Domestic orders placed for the BrahMos missiles have been worth more than $7 billion over the last 20 years, and if exports fructify the sales could double in the next 5 years, BrahMos chief said today. BrahMos Aerospace, an Indo-Russian joint venture formed in 1998, manufactures the supersonic cruise missile that can be launched from submarines, ships, aircraft, or land. While India could use the BrahMos missiles for its three services Army, Navy, and the Air Force, it could not export them before June 2016, when it became a signatory to the Missile Technology Control Regime, MTCR. The journey of, nearly, 20 years has not been easy. We have struggled with our finances, technology, users. Challenges have been so many, BrahMos Aerospace's CEO Sudhir Kumar Mishra said, speaking at the DevTech 2017, an event organized by the Confederation of Indian Industry and the Defence Ministry. Air Chief Marshal B.S. Dhano Thursday said the long-delayed BrahMos A trials from a modified IAF Su-30 MKIs will be carried out in the month of November. Air-launched BrahMos A will be fired in the Bay of Bengal towards a decommissioned ship as a target for the missile. Two specially modified IAF Su-30 MKIs have already cleared captive and drop trials, and data collected from these trials, including from simulation trials, have been positive and encouraging for all the agencies involved in the project. It is yet to be made clear if the target of BrahMos A will be placed beyond 290 km range limitation which was imposed on BrahMos by Russians. Since then, India's entry into MTCR regime already seen BrahMos taking down a target at 450 km, and by 2019 an 800 km version will also be tested. Theoretically, BrahMos A can be later adapted to reach 800 km target once it is ready for induction, but for time being the first missile trial might be limited to 290 km Mach 3 capable. BrahMos A with 800 km range will be formidable aerial launched missile system which will give India unparalleled firepower from the sky, a system with no competitor and no air defence system to stop it. Cochin Shipyard Ltd, CSL, today said it has emerged as the lowest bidder for a project of the Indian Navy, and the Rs 5,400 crore contract for 8 vessels is likely to be concluded after due process. CSL has received communication from the Integrated Headquarters Ministry of Defence, Navy, that the company has emerged as the L1 bidder for 16X ASWSWC project for the Indian Navy, the company said in a filing to BSE. The contract for 8 vessels at a cost of about Rs 5,400 crore is expected to be concluded with the Ministry of Defence after due process, it said. The company said the order was bagged against a competitive tender issued by the ministry in which both private and public sector yards had participated. CSL is the only shipyard in India that can build up to 1,10,000 DWT, deadweight tons, with a track record of making tankers, bulk carriers, port crafts, and passenger vessels, among others. The company is into constructing platform supply vessels for exports and aircraft carrier for the Indian Navy. According to CSL, it is the only shipyard in the country which can fix vessels up to 1,25,000 DWT, and repair an air defence ship. India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS-Vikrant, is in its final stage of construction at CSL. Lack of timely decision-making in the last decade resulted in gaps in the Indian Air Force, and the government is committed to fill them, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said today. In an address at the biannual conference of IAF commanders, the Defence Minister also said that the powers given to the service chiefs should be fully utilised in achieving required capabilities of the forces. She said that the government is committed to fill the gaps which have arisen due to lack of timely decision-making in the last decade, the IAF said in a statement. The 3-day-long IAF Commanders Conference is taking place amid an evolving regional security scenario and growing assertiveness by China in some parts of the Sino-India border. Import of defence technology may kill innovation in Indian companies, and it should be allowed only when there is no homegrown technology available, according to Dr. G. Sathish Reddy, scientific advisor to Raksha Mantri. Innovation should come as building competitiveness and not to become a hindrance, he said. While acknowledging CII's efforts in deliberating the role of defence R&D in Make in India, Dr. Reddy further suggested that Make in India should not stop at build to print, and instead, should involve indigenous design, development and manufacturing. Akash missile and MRSAM program came as his references where Indian industry has substantially contributed through build to specifications systems.